Hey guys, welcome back. So today we'll be going over patterns in decimals. So let's do a quick recap. So let's say you had 10 times 12. 10 times 12 is going to give me 120. Let's say we had 100 times 12. 100 times 12 is going to be 1,200. Now let's say we had 1,000 times 12. 1,000 times 12, this is going to equal 12,000. And then let's say we had 10,000 times 12. 10,000 times 12 is going to equal 120,000. And then let's say we had 100,000 times 12. And this is going to equal 1,200,000, or you can write it as 1.2 million. And you can see here there is a pattern when we're multiplying with our 10, our hundreds, our thousands, our 10,000s, and then the 100,000s. And when you look at your answer, notice here that your factor here of 12s, they're all the same. But when you look at your answer, you have 120 here. We only have 1 0 that was being multiplied by my factor. Here we have 2 zeros that I included here in my answer. So this is 1,200. Then we have 3 zeros that's being included in our answer. So this is 12,000. Then it goes down to 4 zeros because we multiplied by the 10,000 here, which is 4 zeros here. And then we have 5 zeros, and that's going to give us the 5 zeros here. And then let's say I started with the 100,000 first. So if I did 100,000 times 12, you're going to get your 1.2 million. And then if you do your 10,000 times 12, you're going to get 120,000. And then we have our 1,000 times 12, you're going to get 12,000. 100 times 12, you're going to get 1,200. And then if you did 10 times 12, you're going to get 120. So whether you're starting from your 10 times the factor or your 100,000 times the factor, then you will still get a pattern when you are multiplying your numbers together. So let's say we needed to multiply 0.98 times 1,000. So we know that we could set up a pattern. So 0.98 times 1, we know that's going to give me 0.98. If I do 0.98 times 10, that's going to give me 9.80. 0.98 times 100, this is going to give me 98. If I do 0.98 times 1,000, this is going to give me 980. If I do 0.98 times 10,000, this is going to give me 9,800. And then if I do 0.98 times 100,000, this is going to give me 98,000. So if I'm looking for 0.98 times 1,000, your answer here is going to be 980. And when you're looking at your pattern, because I have 0.98 here times 1,000, I could just move my decimal point 3 places to the right to give me this answer as well. So if you have a decimal and it's to multiply by the number 10, you move your decimal point 1 place to the right. If I have to multiply my factor by 100, you move your decimal point 2 places to the right. If you multiply by 1,000, then you have to move your decimal point 3 places to the right. 10,000, you move your decimal point 4 places to the right. And then if you have 100,000, you're going to move your decimal 5 places to the right. And this keeps going on and on and on. So for this example here, if I had my 0.98 and I had to quickly multiply that by 1,000, all I have to do is just move my decimal point 3 places to the right. So this would be 1, 2, 3. It puts me right here. You do have an imaginary 0 here. So your answer is going to be 980. So let's look at this example. So let's look at our pattern here. We have 3.25 times 1. That's going to give me 3.25. 3.25 times 10. That's going to give me 32.50. 3.25 times 100. That's going to give me 325. 3.25 times 1,000. This is going to give me 3,250. So this is the answer here that we are looking for. And let's say you needed to answer this question quickly. I just have to move my decimal point 3 places to the right to get my answer. So if I do that, this is going to be 1, 2, 3. It puts me right here. And then you have an imaginary 0 here. So your answer here is going to be 3,250. And then of course, if you want to include the decimal at the very end, you can, but you do not have to. This decimal is coming from right here. All right, so let's look at this example here. What is 0.478 times 1,000? So let's go ahead and set up our pattern here. So we have 0.478 times 1. That's going to give us 0.478. 0.478 times 10. This is going to give me 4.78. 0.478 times 100. This is going to give me 47.8. And then 0.478 times 1,000, this is going to give me 478. All right, and let's say you had to answer this question quickly. If I multiply by 1,000, I just have to move my decimal point 3 places to the right. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3. It puts me right here after the 8, and this is just going to be 478. All right, let's look at this example. What is 0.0009 times 1,000? So we have 0.0009 times 1. We know that's going to give us the same answer. If I do 0.0009 times 10, I just have to move my decimal 1 place to the right, and that's going to put me right here in between these 2 zeros here. So I'm going to get 0.009. If I do 0.0009 times 100, this is going to be 0.09. 0.0009 times 1,000, this is going to give you 0.9. So let's say you had to answer this question quickly. If I'm multiplying by 1,000, remember I can move my decimal point 3 places to the right. And if I do that, I'm going to get 1, 2, 3. It puts me right here between the 0 and the 9. So your answer is going to be 0.9. Okay, so let's look at this example here. We have 1 times 2.845. So we're going to multiply 2.845 times 1 times 10 times 100 and then times 1,000. However, what is 2.845 times 100? And the quickest way, of course, we can do that is to move my decimal point 2 places to the right. So if I have my 2.845 here, if I do 1, 2, it puts me right here between the 4 and the 5. So your answer is going to be 284.5 as your answer. And remember, you can add your imaginary 0 here after the 5 if you want to, but you do not have to. All right, so let's look at this example here. We're going to multiply 0.3459 times 1 times 10 times 100 and then also times 1,000. So how do I answer this question quickly? Well, we already know if I'm multiplying by 10, I need to move my decimal point 1 place to the right. So that's going to put me right here between the 3 and the 4. So I already know my first answer here is going to be 3.459. And then if I multiply by 100, I need to move my decimal point 2 places to the right. If I do that, that's going to be 1, 2. It puts me right here in between the 4 and the 5. So this is going to be 34.59. And then, of course, if you multiply by 1,000, you move 3 places to the right. So 1, 2, 3. It puts us right here between the 5 and the 9, which is what we have here. Let's look at this example here. I'm going to multiply 0.3 times 1 times 10 times 100 and then times 1,000. So I already got the first one down. We got that. We got 0.3. I already got this one. This is 3. I moved my decimal point 1 place to the right, and that's just going to give me 3 as my answer. Now I have to move my decimal point 2 places to the right because I'm multiplying by 100. Let's do it here. If I move it 2 places to the right, that's going to be 1, 2. It puts me right here. And you have your imaginary 0 here. So your answer, your new answer here is just going to be 30. Next, if I'm multiplying my factor by 1,000, I'm going to move my decimal 3 places to the right. So we have our 0.3 here. If I do 3 places to the right, this is going to be 1, 2, 3. It puts me right here. And then you have your imaginary zeros here. So your answer is going to be 300. All right, so let's look at this example here. We're going to multiply 0.005 times your 1 times your 10, your 100, and then your 1,000. So we already have our factor multiplied by 1. We got that. We got the same answer. And then we already have our factor multiplied by 1,000, and that's going to give me 5. So now if I have to multiply by 10, remember we're moving our decimal point 1 place to the right. So it's going to be right here between these two zeros. So you're going to get 0.05 as your answer. Now I'm going to move my decimal 2 places to the right because I'm multiplying my factor by 100. And that's going to be 1, 2. It puts me now between the 0 and the 5. So your answer here is going to be 0.5. So let's look at these examples here. So 0.9 times 10, I know I need to move my decimal 1 place to the right, and I'm just going to get 9. It puts me right here, right after the 9. Next, 2 places to the right, so 1, 2, and this is going to give me 90. Next, 0.9 times 1,000, this is going to give me 900 because I know I need to move my decimal point 3 places to the right. So 1, 2, 3, it puts me right here. And then you're going to fill in these spaces here with zeros. So 0.9 times 1,000 is 900. Let's look at this, 10 times 0.51. So I know I need to move my decimal point 1 place to the right. This is just going to give me 5.1. 2 places to the right is going to give me 51. 3 places to the right is going to be 510. All right, so let's look at these examples here. 0.007 times 10. This is going to give me 0.07. I move my decimal 1 place to the right, and that's my answer here. Next, I'm going to move my decimal 2 places to the right because I'm multiplying my factor by 100. So 1, 2, it puts me right here between the 0 and the 7. So this is going to be 0.7. Next, 0.007 times 1,000. I'm moving my decimal 3 places to the right. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. It puts me right here after my 7. And this is just going to be 7. Or remember, you can do 7.0 if you want. 10 times 0.015. I'm going to move my decimal 1 place to the right. And that's going to be right here between my 0 and 1. So this is going to be 0.15. Next, I'm going to move my decimal 2 places to the right. 100 times 0.015. That's 1, 2. It puts me right here between the 1 and a 5. So this is going to be 1.5. And then 1,000 times 0.015. I'm going to move my decimal 3 places to the right. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. It puts me right here after the 15. So your answer here is 15. Or you can write it as 15.0. All right, so let's look at these examples here. We have 0.2178 times 10. If I need to answer this quickly, then I already know if I'm multiplying my factor by 10 that I need to move my decimal point 1 place to the right. So that's going to be right here between the 2 and the 1. So your answer is going to be 2.178. Next, if I'm multiplying my factor by 100, I already know that I need to move my decimal point 2 places to the right. So that's going to be 1, 2. It puts me right here between the 1 and the 7. So your answer here is going to be 21.78. Next, we're multiplying our factor by 1,000. Move my decimal point 3 places to the right. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. That's going to be between the 7 and the 8. So your answer here is 217.8. Let's look at 45.69 times 10. I'm going to move my decimal point 1 place to the right, and then that's going to be 456.9. Now I'm going to move my decimal point 2 places to the right because I am multiplying now by 100. So this is going to be 1, 2. It puts me right here after the 9. So that means I'm going to get 4,569. Next, we're moving our decimal 3 places to the right. So if I have my 45.69 here, 1, 2, 3, it puts me right here. And I have my imaginary 0 right here. So your answer is going to be 45,690. And notice here your decimal is after your 0. So if I wanted to add my decimal point, my new decimal point is right here. And then of course you can add your imaginary zeros. So let's go up here on the top. 10 times 0.25. I'm going to move my decimal point 1 place to the right. So it's going to be right here between a 2 and a 5. So your answer here is going to be 2.5. 100 times 0.25. My answer here is going to be 25 because I'm moving my decimal point 2 places to the right this time. And then 1,000 times 0.25. That means I'm going to move my decimal point 3 places to the right. So 1, 2, 3, it puts me right here, and you have an imaginary 0 here. So your answer here is going to be 250. Okay, let's look at our last set right here. We have 10 times 1.0608. I'm going to move my decimal 1 place to the right, and that's going to be right here between the 0 and the 6. So we have 10.608. Next, 100 times our factor here. I'm going to move my decimal point 2 places to the right. So 1, 2, it puts me right here between the 6 and the 0. My answer here is going to be 106.08. And then now I'm going to move my decimal point 3 places to the right. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3. It puts me right here now between the 0 and the 8. So your answer here is going to be 1,060.8. And I'll write it down here so it's clear. All right, so that is all for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.